to you all to the Commerce Positivity lecture. In today's lecture, we will be totally discussing on the topic like meaning or the concept of control, definitions of control given by different scholar, natures or the features of control, importance of control, similarly the process of control. So, let's start with the concept or control. Well, control is an important managerial function. It is the final stage in the planning process. Planning is the first functions of management, whereas controlling is the last function. It is a process that aims to set the standard, to measure and compare the performance. Controlling is concerned with seeing whether the performance is according to standard or not. The word control simply suggests that the following operations like checking, testing, regulations, verifications or adjustment, the task of manager is to detect appropriated corrections is achieved through effective control system. Control provide the basis for future actions. It is a comparisons and the verifications process between actual performance and the standard performance. It discover the deviations and employ the corrective measures. It reduces the chance of mistake being repeated in futures by providing preventive measure. Simply control. It is necessary to ensure that the desired results are achieved. Therefore, the manager or the management should formulate such expected standard which can facilitate to take corrective actions for achievement of predetermined organizational objective or goal. Different scholars have given the definitions of control in different sense. Well, according to Gazzarcherri, control is determining which is being accomplished, that is evaluating the performance. If necessary, applying corrective measure so that the performance take place according to plan. Similarly, another scholar here we have is that Stephen P. Robbins. According to Stephen P. Robbins, control is a process of monitoring activities to ensure that they are being accomplished as planned and of correcting any significant deviations. Simply in conclusion, we can simply say that control is a process, controlling is a process of measuring actual performance and comparing with a standard, identifying, analyzing deviations, if any, and taking corrective actions to meet the standard. It prevents and correct deviations from plan. It is also known as a key to management for implementations of a plan in actual field. So now let's study about the natures, features or the characteristic of a control. The first nature here we have is that managerial function. Controlling is a fundamental managerial function which measures the functions of management in the organizations. Other remaining management functions are meaningless without the provisions of adequate control. Dynamic process is another important feature of control. Controlling is not static but a dynamic process. The technique and the system of control should be flexible to meet the demand and the requirement of the changing environment of the organizations. Continuous process is another important feature of control. Controlling is a never-ending or continuous process of management. Manager of all levels have to see that the subordinates perform according to plan at all the time. Thus, control is continuous as long as the organization exists. Backward and forward looking is another important natures. Control involves both backward and forward looking activities. Backward looking implements evaluating the past performance and forward looking implements improving performance in the future. Past cannot be controlled. On the basis of past experience, future activities can be improved through corrective actions. Similarly, the another natures here we have is that interrelated with planning. Yes, of course, planning and control are highly interrelated. Planning sets standard for control. Controlling try to meet this standard. Control without planning is impossible and planning without control is meaningless. Measurement and comparison is another important natures. Control involve measurement of actual performance and its comparison with the standard. It also analyzes the deviations and check corrective actions so that performance match with the predetermined plan. Last nature here we have is that pervasive function. Yes, of course, control is an essential functions of every manager. All managers perform the control functions. Control is exercised at all levels of the management. The natures and extent of control may differ from one level to the another level in an organization. Importance of control. Well, control is an indispensable function of management. It ensures the accomplishment of work according to the plan within an organization. It is concerned with measuring the performance to secure the best result of managerial effort. The importance of control. Here we have is that achievement of goal, improve efficiency, means of coordinations, accountability for performance, help in better planning, identify an economy, increase the morale of employers, decentralizations of authority, simplified supervisions. So the first important here we have is that achievement of goal. Yes, the basis proposed of control is the attainment of goal. Okay. Control function seeks to ensure integrations between overall cooperations and the department goal, short-term and long-term goal, organizational and individual goal. It facilitates to achieve the overall goal of the organizations. Similarly, improve efficiency is another importance of control. In general, there is a time lag between formulations of goal and their accomplishment. During this time, managers are expected to keep a close watch over the utilizations of human and material resources. They have to prevent misuse of resources and ensure proper utilizations of same. Hence, an effective control helps to minimize wastage and loss within an organization. Similarly, another important here we have is that means of coordinations. A good control system facilitates coordinations among the departments, employers by providing them unity of direction. It also plays the role of intermediaries between different levels of authority. Hence, control helps to coordinate the activities for the achievement of the common goal within an organization. Accountability for performance is another importance. Here we have another purpose of control is to ensure that the members of organizations remains accountable for their performance. Control involves laying down standards of derived performance from individuals and groups. They are expected to meet the predetermined norms or performance. Helps in better planning is another importance. Controlling helps in planning by identifying the areas and problem. It helps in providing it provides the basic for future scales of actions. Without controlling, planning is meaningless. That's why controlling helps to formulate the effective plan. Identify an autonomy. An organization seeks to preserve its distinct identity and cultures through the control functions. Control enables the organizations to anticipate the evaluating behaviors of external force and to take steps to preserve it. They also improve the freedom of actions and flexibility for existing the goal and the meaning of achieving them. Similarly, another important here we have is that increase the morale of employer. Yes, of course, controlling or an effective controls create an atmosphere of order and discipline in the organizations. Evaluations of performance against predetermined standards includes employers to do things in the proper manners. It promotes them to perform well and to achieve the reward. Decentralizations of authority. An effective system of control facilitates delegations of authority, which the help of feedback and informations manager can ensure that decisions taken at lower level are consistent with the policies and interests of the organizations. Simplified supervision is the last importance of control. Control helps to simplify the tasks of supervisors by pointing out significant deviations from the standards of performance. It keeps the subordinates under checks and facilities to maintain and develop the discipline among them. Yeah, I just hope you all understand the importance of control. Now, let's study about the process of control. The first process here we have is that establishment of standard. The first step of controlling is the setting up of control standard. Standard represent the criteria or tool as in which actual performance is measured. Standards serve as a benchmark because they reflect the derived result or expected level of the performance. The standard of control may be qualitative or quantitative standard. Once the standard is set, another process here we have is that measurement of performance. Yes, of course, after establishment of standard, the next step is the measurement of actual performance. Measurement of performance should be accurate and reliable with the standard. It should be clear, simple and objective. Quantitative standards are established. Performance should be measured in quantitative terms. This will make the evaluations easy and reliable. In other case, performance may be measured in terms of opinions, surveys, and other quantitative terms. For example, let's take one example. Each part is checked well. Assembling the project, the performance is measured using several techniques such as personal observations, sample checkings, performance reports, and many more. Similarly, another process here we have is that comparing performance with the standard. The third major step in control process involves the comparisons of actual performance with the standard. Such comparisons with relevance the deviations between actuals and derived result. Quantitative standards are easy to compare, but qualitative standards are complex to measure. Direct personal observations and reports may be used to identify deviations in performance where results are intangible. Deviations means the actual gap between actual performance and the standards, which may be positive or negative. Positive deviation simply means that actual performance is higher than the standard, whereas negative deviations means actual performance is less than the standard. But if the performance match with the standard, management may assume that everything is under the control. Now, another process here we have is that analysis of deviations. All deviations need not to be brought to notice of top level management. A range of deviations should be established. Only case beyond this range should be reported. This is known as control by exceptions. When the deviations between standard and actual performance are beyond the prescribed limit, an analysis of deviations should be made to identify the cause of deviations. Then the deviations and cause are reported to the managers who are authorized to take actions. Similarly, the last process or step here we have is that taking corrective action. The purpose of control is not only to analyze deviations but also to initiate immediate measures to take corrective actions. Corrective actions are initiated on the basis of factors causing deviations between standard and the actual result. The deviations caused from internal factors can be rectified, but the deviations due to external factor cannot be rectified by managerial actions. This standard may have to be revised. Now, let's study about the essential of effective control. So the first essential here we have is simple. Yes, of course, a good control system should be easy and clear to understand and operate. Control system that is not easily understood by the user is of no value. The instructions should be totally clear to understand. Another essential here we have is that economical. A control system must be economical to operate. It should be easy to compare and applied by the concerned persons. It should never be too costly in terms of both financial and human resources. Another essential here we have is flexible. Yes, of course, effective control system must be flexible enough to adjust to an adversing changing environment of the business. Forward looking. An effective control system should be directed toward the futures. It must focus on how future actions can be conformed to plan. It should identify the situations where new plans are essential and should provide data upon which future plans are based. Objectivity is another essential. The standards set by the management should be objective and specified. This should quantified and verified. This should be based on fact and figures so that control is expected. Another essential of control here we have is that promptness. An effective control system should detect and report deviations promptly. The deviations should be quickly reported to the concerned authority. Delay in the reporting of the information will make control ineffective. A good control system facilitates timely so that there should be minimum wastage of a time and energy. Another essential here we have is that suggestive. A good control should suggestive in nature. It should not only observe performance and detect the deviations. It should be self-corrective. Direct and self-control is always desirable. Suitability is another essential of control. A control system should be appropriated according to nature's needs and circumstances of the organizations. It must be adjustable according to type, nature's needs and requirements of the organizations. Reasonable criteria is another essentials of control. The standard of control should be attainable. An effective control system not only indicates the significant variable from the standard but also suggests what actions could be taken to correct the deviations. The last essentials of effective control here we have is that individual's responsibility. Yes, of course, a control can be effective when it focuses on individuals rather than on work. Corrective control can be taken only when responsibility for failure can be fixed on specific individual. Yeah, that's it. I just hope you all understand the meaning or the concept of control, definitions of control given by different scholars, nature's characteristic or features of control, importance of control, process of control, and the essential of effective control. That's it. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Take care.